Hey class, I wanted to clarify your case study a little bit, just so you completely understand where we are and we're on the same page. So we're doing the skilled helper chapter 1, 2, or 3 options for your case study. Now, when you look at the case study, I want you to look at which chapter that you're more interested in working a client with. For example, in chapter 1, you've got the ingredients of successful helping. You've got like formational and informational helpers, what helping is all about, embracing and befriending the uncertainties inherent in helping. So your client that you're going to imagine and make up, this client is going to have all the issues from this chapter, and you're going to work through that with each chapter. You get to pick which is chapter 1, 2, or 3. The second chapter is the helping relationship and the values that drive it. The helping relationship, the values that drive helping relationships, respect to foundation values, empathy. You're going to have all those issues: proactive, appreciation of diversity, self-responsibility, and so on. And again, with chapter 3, the empathic presence, the importance of communicating skills, dialogue, focused interactions with clients, visibility, tuning in. What I'm asking you to do is to basically break down the entire chapter for me, but using an example. Now, if we look at the lesson plan, and I'm going to pull that up in a second. Give me a second here. I have it up, but I just can't find it. Let's see. There it is. Okay, I'm going to share my screen with you. Okay, we should be looking at my screen now. The case study assignment, you'll write 5 pages in total. So this is how I recommend you go through it. You're going to start with an introduction. The introduction is basically going to be your client that you've made up. And that's going to be based on what your chapter is. So for example, if you choose chapter 1, it's all about helping. So your client's going to need issues. Your clients are going to have issues that surround those particular issues in that chapter. So if we go to chapter 1, we have decision-making. We have problem management. So your client's going to have decision-making issues and problem management issues. What are their problems, issues concerned with? What does the future? Does it look better? How do I make this happen? Your client's going to have issues with communication skills that service as a dialogue, two-way feedback between you and the helper. You're going to put those elements within your case study. My recommendation is to start at the very beginning of the chapter and start writing your case plan. Your introduction, of course, is going to be you talking about your client. So Martha Dixon, a 23-year-old single mother with presenting symptoms of anxiety and depression. She came to me and we sat down. Then let the client list their issues based on whatever you're reading. So I would read, 3 or 4 head subtitles, like formal and informal helpers, what is helping about. Incorporate that into your case plan. I met with her. She discussed with me that she had issues with trust, that she had issues with asking for help from other people. We discussed, I asked her to give me examples of this. She gave me 3 examples. I then spoke to her about these suggestions of what she could do to reach out to people in her family, to ask for help, because sometimes people limit themselves. And if you look back at chapter 1, that's a section. And you continue as you go through the entire chapter. So the easiest way to write it is to just go through the chapter section by section and making sure that you cover all the content. I didn't give you a case sample because I want you to really think about how to put one together yourself. I gave all the descriptions that you possibly need to build this. I broke it down in introduction. You get 5 points for that. Your key areas for your entire chapter, whether or not you covered the entire chapter in your case study, how creative you are with your client and the ideas that you offer to your client based on what you've read in the chapter, and your conclusion on how you see this helping your client in the future, and the suggestions that you've given her, and how she can be proactive or he can be proactive. Normally a case plan is designed to help your client. When we work in the field, we build a case plan, we look at the deficits, the needs that the clients have. And if you've taken my social work class, you would know, and you would have been exposed to that. But if you haven't been exposed to the case plan development, basically you look at the needs of the client and you look at what does my client need. Then you take those needs and you transform them into a case plan on here's the need and this is how I help them. Here's the need and this is how I help them. So as you go through the chapter, each section is going to describe a need and you're going to describe how you're going to help them and how they're going to help themselves. So basically that's how it's laid out. So let's see, I give you a good example on page 7 of Carol and how they worded it. So I'll give you an idea of how to word a case plan. And I really want you to be as creative as you can. If you want to hand it in to me early to look it over, I'm willing to accept those all the way up till Friday. And I'll give you some feedback. But good luck, and I want you to be creative. And I don't want you to be stressed out about the assignment because it's a learning experience. And basically you're going to take the entire chapter and you're going to feed it back to me and let me know that you're helping a client based on the information that you learned. So I hope that helps, and I hope it clarifies some questions that you may have had. But if you need any assistance or you have any more further questions, please contact me via phone or email. I'm more than happy to help you. Thanks, guys.